Hello there, welcome to Trends with LJE. I am Chidi Iluameke, stepping in for Memuna Zubair. On today's episode, we'll discuss and explore critical stories shaping Nigeria, from missing oil revenues and questionable budget insertions to judiciary accountability, road safety concerns, and youth leadership in the diaspora. With me to dissect these issues are panelists, development strategist Shadrach Oka, lecturer and media expert, Dr. Uchehara Ikerichukwu Chris. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're looking more like those from the north.
Yes, I'm a true Nigerian, so I represent Nigeria.
Okay, so welcome. So let us quickly get into it. Missing oil revenues and controversial budget insertions. Nigeria's oil sector, the lifeblood of its economy, is again under scrutiny. SERAP, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, has filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, for allegedly failing to remit over $2.04 billion and 164 billion naira in oil revenues to the federal government, violating constitutional provisions and undermining fiscal transparency. In a related development, a civic tech group, Budget, has exposed that the National Assembly inserted 11,122 projects worth 6.93 trillion naira into the proposed 2025 budget, a staggering 12.6% of the total 54.99 trillion naira expenditure. Among these are over 1,400 streetlights projects worth 393 billion naira and 2,122 ICT projects valued at 505 billion naira, many of which are seen as duplicative or lacking clear economic justifications. Gentlemen, what is going on in the country? This is strange.
Well, Mr. Chidi, that may only be strange to you as a person, because saying that is strange is altogether something very strange. Because as far as I am concerned, the corruption in NNPC is monumental. In one of the columns many years ago, I think it was Ruben Abati or one of these editors who captured it, NNPC tour as a tour of corruption. From 1999 to date, we've had about 12 MDs, GMDs of NNPC, and each of them tenure have been, shrouded with all these kind of corruption issues. I remember vividly the leaked letter of Dr. Ibe Kachuku, then Minister for State for NNPC, to President Muhammadu Buhari, alleging corruption of monumental proportion by one of the GMDs. I think that should be Mekanti Baru's tenure. We know how it ended. The city set up a pro panel. Now, what was the outcome of that panel? Up to date, nothing came out of it. Ibe Kachuku himself was a former GMD of NNPCL, and we know what happened, that he was quickly changed to become the Minister for State, where that tenure was now given to Mekanti Baru. So these issues have been there. Sometimes when you try to fight, it costs you your job, or if not even your life. As foremost economist and former Minister of Finance, Ngozo Konjo-Iweala said that corruption will certainly fight back. So for us, it is not strange, but this amount is staggering. It's something that will bring life to the Nigerian economy. But I can assure you, once again, it's just paper talk. The Senate have been setting pro-panel upon pro-panel. We never get to see the end of it. Like I said, there have been about 12 GMDs of NNPCL, each of them a lot of corruption issues levied against them. Look at the other one, Andrew Yakubu. You saw what happened, money starch in uncompleted buildings.
Exactly.
And what happened? Nothing happened. Exactly. A lot of corruption issues with the NNPC, but I can tell you, because people in the high places are interested in it, you will never see their cases have the day of the light. Also, former Minister Adeosun Kemi, it cost her job because she refused to play ball. All of these things are things that bring sorrow in the heart of Nigerians, but we pray that this time around, Nigerians especially will now put pressure on the National Assembly to see these cases see the day of light.
Okay, yeah, I'll come to you, Dr. Chris. We have what we call the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. How effective is this office, in ensuring that there's oversight?
Let me start by saying, linking my statement to what my colleague just said here, Mr. Shedrack.
Yes.
He said the corruption in NNPCL is monumental. I would say it's structural. Structural in the sense that starting from the people that appointed them to the appointed, is structural. So it's something that has come to stay. He has made references to former DGs of NNPCL that had 1 or 2 corruption cases. And today, you and I can affirm that nothing has come out of the corruption cases. Now, coming to your question on the Auditor General, in fact, who is auditing who? Who is auditing who? In this country, we had an experience of a case where an Auditor General of the Federation had a corruption case. So when your hands are soiled, how can you execute or implement your statutory role as an auditor? You that is an auditor, you have a case to answer. What gut have you to go and audit somebody? So for me, it's just a name, and there is answering name without executing the duties of an auditor.
But sorry for cutting you in.
Yes.
The last Auditor General had case and EFCC picked him up. So I think it's a way of saying that.
You that just said it now. Since they picked him up?
And
what have you had out of the case since then? What is the outcome of the case? When you pick somebody up, you prosecute him, and you make it public, the people will know that this is the beginning and the end of the case. So you and I know today that we are sufficiently and sincerely convinced that nothing has come out of that case. So, like I said earlier, is a name, is an Auditor General, yes. What are you auditing? Whom are you auditing? You that is auditing, are you clean to audit me? So if you are clean to audit me, if you are clean in your own duty as an auditor, you have the gut to come and audit me. So where your hands are soiled, you don't have that gut to audit me. That is what I can say in that your question to me.
Okay, the National Assembly, Dr. Shedrack, should have a way of, even though you don't work in National Assembly, but the Nigerian people demand explanation, accountability from the National Assembly, particularly when there are incessant cases of duplication of insertions of budgetary allocations, and what do you have to respond to? How do you have to respond to this?
Well, the aspects of what they call budget padding and transparency and accountability,
yes,
with regards to government revenue, in this case, budget. The figure is actually very huge. I was trying to look at the budget between 1999 and 2015. I doubt if it is up to 6.9 trillion, 93 trillion that is being inserted into our budget. For me, I wouldn't even have a problem if number of projects are added or inserted into a budget. That is what they often refer to as padding. For instance, if there's supposed to be 2 boreholes in my community, and my federal legislator decided to make it 5 boreholes, it would have been an advantage to the community that you are having even increase of project. But the problem now is the money that should be used to executing that project, does it serve that purpose? Or does it filter into individual pockets? In this case now, where you have, if you look at the figures in the budget with regards to the project itself, you discover that a street light may be costing over 150 million naira. For instance, if you start to do real account to break down those projects. So you discover that those things are being filtered into private individual pockets. But like budget, that civil tech institution who have been following budget, have been following those projects, have said this is not the first time. They have been in court with several matters of corruption issues.
Yeah, I
but
think
this one is monumental. And I think the Senate President, who is the chairman of National Assembly, he has been known as an uncommon governor before. He has been known as an uncommon minister, uncommon minister, uncommon senator. But this time around, he has failed in his duty to become an uncommon Senate President. And I think he should raise the bar. And so that, yes, that is true, because the National Assembly under him, which is a 10th Senate, have been, smeared with a lot of corruption allegations and serious corruption issues. This one should not go down, but it is not for me to look out to the National Assembly for any redemption. But the Nigerian people to mount pressure to ensure these things should be taken care of. Because for me, it is a collaboration between the executive and the National Assembly. This one of those institutions independently cannot just, corrupt the process. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should ensure, like Buhari resisted the National Assembly several times under his leadership over budget padding. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is up to you. Nigerian people are saying this budget is flawed.
So, gentlemen, we Nigerians need to ask questions, like you mentioned, and we need to seek for accountability. So, going on to the next story, the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has stirred nationwide debate by declaring that the Nigerian judiciary is, in quotes, corrupt, compromised, and incapable of delivering timely justice, end of quote. El-Rufai made the comment at a roundtable highlighting how delays, contradictory judgments, and political interference have eroded public confidence in our courts. Specifically, he criticized election tribunals and cases involving politicians, suggesting that justice is often delayed or manipulated, causing a threat to Nigeria's democracy. I'll come to you, Dr. Oka. Dr. Chris, does it sit well with you?
You see, the issue of El-Rufai coming out in recent time to sound the way he's sounding, for me, I see it as something very surprising, and I see it as something that is this El-Rufai that I used to know, yes, it's laughable, because in recent time he has come out to be sounding as if it's for the people, as if he wants this to be in good shape. El-Rufai, for all I know about him, El-Rufai, during his time, 8 years' time as a governor, I am convinced in me that there are so many judicial orders that he flouted as a governor. So many, uncountable. Now today, El-Rufai has come out to be criticizing the judiciary in their duties of delivering justice. But also El-Rufai, as a governor, flouted so many judicial orders and court orders that he never obeyed. Now El-Rufai has come out to be saying all that he's saying in recent time. I don't know what prompted this action from him.
But does it negate the reality? What he's saying is
there is no reality about it. For me,
so what you're saying is the judiciary is not corrupt?
No, not that the judiciary is not corrupt, but coming out from him as a person.
So you are attacking the messenger.
That is where I am concerned. El-Rufai today is pro-people. El-Rufai is anti-government today. El-Rufai is criticizing the government today. But throughout his 8 years as a governor, I never had El-Rufai criticize the government of the day. I never had El-Rufai criticize the judiciary or criticize the legislature or even the executive. But El-Rufai today, just like I said, recently he has been in the public space.
So what do you think could be the reason for this?
I don't know. Maybe he is clamoring. There's something missing. There's something he has mixed that he has not gotten in this government, and that's the reason. Because I am convinced in me that if this government carried him along, if he's in the government and is in the purview of what the government is doing, El-Rufai will not sound the way he's sounding today. So I'm surprised that El-Rufai is criticizing the judiciary.
Okay, Mr.
I think all I will say, when my colleague was struggling with the word to qualify Nasir El-Rufai, His Excellency, I think I remembering Dr. Umar Ganduje speaking about Emir Sanusi that he had issues with. In one of those fora, he said, I will apply the Jonathan capsule. I think
What does that say?
he says a lot. What I should say this time around, I think the Tinubu capsule is what is working, Dr. Chris, on El-Rufai. Once you apply the Tinubu capsule, and then you see the individual turns the other way around. What it means is that El-Rufai being shot out of government unceremoniously the way it happened as one of the arrowhead who stood behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to become president. So when that capsule was applied, he became pro-people. Yes, there is corruption in our judiciary, no doubt that he has not said anything new. I think we don't need all of those messages from so-called pro-people politicians. What the message we need, if they want to accuse judiciary, they have been part of the system. I remember vividly the election in Kaduna State was smeared. A lot of issues, intrigues went behind the bar. So what we want from people who are insiders, name names. Be bold enough. If you say you have repented and you are now pro-people and you want to accuse the judiciary, go ahead and name names. The abuse of judicial office or power for private gains, undermines the spirit of fairness and justice, which symbolizes our judiciary. And it is very unfortunate that we are having it this bad. So for me, people like El-Rufai, please go ahead and name him. We'll just see one of the lecturers who supervised, the professor who supervised the election in 2019, yes, was found guilty and thrown behind bars. But it took a little much longer. It would have been more impactful if it happened almost immediately. So that is where we are calling on the judiciary so that the will of justice should be speedy and not delayed. Because, like they say, justice delay
with judicial reforms also. So moving on to our next story. In a commendable move for sports integrity, 6 Nigerian athletes, including well-known boxers Cynthia Ogunsemilore and Dolapo Omole, have been suspended from participating in the ongoing Gateway Games 2024 due to doping violations flagged by the Nigerian Anti-Doping Committee. This enforcement comes in response to Nigeria's precarious standing with global anti-doping bodies. With the country recently listed among high-risk nations, the Gateway Games, a national sporting event, is being used as a litmus test for Nigeria's seriousness in fighting doping ahead of global tournaments. Just a moment. Maybe we should commend the Nigerian Sports Commission, for this move.
So let me speak quickly on that area. When solving this kind of problem, the ban is not okay for me. They should start from the grassroots, right from the peddler of the drug to the person that take the drug, then to banning. Because if you ban him or her and fails to curb the drug peddling from the grassroots, I think it will still continue. Also, another thing I want to say in this area is that it is good the move they took by banning the athlete is quite commendable because it is still in the national space. Because if this is not done at this stage and they cultivate the culture of taking drug, as a sports person and to the international scene, it will corrupt and spoil the name of the country, Nigeria, more. So at this stage, it is good they start curbing and stop the act of doping in our sports activities.
Oh, beautiful. Mr. Shirak, you have a response?
Yes, very quickly, I think the only area I want to speak on that is that when it comes to sports and drugs, sometimes it's not necessary that these people deliberately take drugs that enhances them to outperform others. Sometimes it's mistakenly from food, because I remember vividly in sport, yes, sometimes it's the kind of meal that you take.
Well, what are those meals?
No, there are certain categories of chemicals they are looking out for that they will be, when you are scrutinized, it will fall short of the regulations that they have put in place. Sometimes it happens. Like in sport, I remember the likes of Kolo Toure have been a victim of this. And you say, no, it's not deliberate, it's also food that it takes. Okay. And what that means is that when you are preparing athletes for sports like this, their diet is also very important. But in Nigeria, we only look out for talents at the spotlight. But the preparation, the kitchen behind the
administration,
preparation,
sports administration,
where you prepare athlete, it costs a lot to prepare a single athlete. Just like it used to cost a lot of millions to train a general for war. That is what happened. But Nigerians will leave athletes to themselves to struggle all by themselves, eat whatever they want, prepare themselves for high-flying competitions like this. But on the whole, it's a very beautiful world. Let me just read what the Honorable Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun, who is hosting the event, said. He said, this is a stage I've been prepared where champions will rise, where record will be broken, and sporting history will be made. I think the gateway to 2024 National Sporting Festival promise a very beautiful game. And with all to display Nigerian culture, we will enjoy all the bits of it.
Thank you so much. So, we'll take a quick break. And when we return, we will discuss road safety concerns on one of Nigeria's deadly highways and the remarkable journey of a young Nigerian woman making history in the United Kingdom. Stay with us.
Ready for change? Join LJE Nigeria, an innovative organization driven by change, growth, and economic advancement. For membership details and registration, visit our website ljenigeria.org or follow us on all social media platforms.
Welcome back to Trends with LJE. Moving on to the next story, recurring accidents on Abuja-Keffi Expressway. And that tragic incident occurred on the Abuja-Keffi Expressway, where a truck loaded with cement lost control, killing 6 people and injuring at least 25. This marks the 3rd fatal accident on that highway in 2 months, drawing national attention to the deteriorating safety conditions of our roads and the recklessness of some commercial drivers. Eyewitnesses reported that the truck failed brakes and had faulty brakes. Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC officials also highlighted poor vehicle maintenance and overspeeding as reasons for these recurring issues. So, gentlemen, I'll majorly ask you, Dr. Chris, your thoughts.
Okay, you see, before an accident takes place, there are causative agents to that, or factors that must have led to a cause of an accident, ranking from recklessness, bad roads, net load of a certain vehicle, and also the particular user of the vehicle, the driver, So all these things amounts to cause of accidents. Our bad roads, the vehicle, poor maintenance, and the user or the driver of the vehicle, his state of mind, or psychological or emotional state of mind of the person, all constitutes or can cause accidents on our roads. So what we should look at now is where the accident happened, what actually caused the accident. Is the driver in the right frame of mind? Is he a professional driver? Does he possess all it takes to be a commercial driver? Then what is the net load of net weight of the load that is in the vehicle? And our road today, you and I know that our roads are in a very deplorable condition that can cause accidents on our roads. Exactly. Vehicles, poverty, no money or funds to take care of our vehicles on the road. And alternatively, we do not have other roads, other means of transportation. So our roads are suffering much.
And you suggest that they should also apply the roads at night. Some people have also made that.
That alone, can it solve our problems? So our government is a call to duty that they should fix our roads. Our roads should be fixed. And drivers on their own, take adequate care of your vehicle before you enter the road. And know the actual load a particular vehicle requires to carry at each time, not overloading the vehicle. And when you do that, what do you expect the vehicle to do? The vehicle will get spoiled on the road, and on the process of spoiling, people will be involved, life will be involved.
So thank you for your input, and we'll go on to our last story for today. A proud moment for Nigeria in the diaspora, as Princess Opeyemi Bright, a 29-year-old British Nigerian, has been sworn in as the mayor of Barking and Dagenham, making her the youngest person to hold such office in the United Kingdom. Elected as a councillor at just 22 years, her rise in British politics showcases the value of inclusive governance and the potentials of Nigerian youths. She credits her Nigerian heritage and strong educational background for inspiring her civic journey. What do you have to say? Okay.
Well, we celebrate the young woman for the feat that she achieved in politics, in this case, the British politics. She credited it to her Nigerian heritage and a strong educational background, but that cannot be said of a typical Nigerian youth today, where education has been bastardized. I can tell you, in Nigeria here, she cannot even win election to be an SCG president, let alone to become the mayor of Buckingham. That being said, I can also tell you it is a call. All over the world, Nigerians have a very strong will, strong spirit, doing us proud. It's just poor leadership that is just the bane of underdevelopment in the country. And I want this to serve that our people, our leaders should look inward to develop the potentials of our youth, even here in the country, and put things right. She has said she was given that opportunity, and you can see where it is taking her to. But let our youth be given opportunity here in the country for inclusive governance, especially in politics and in leadership. But you can see a 60-year-old contesting for youth president today. He's 55 years old, being called a youth leader of a political party. We are not serious. We don't have plans for the next generation. If not, you will not see an 80-year-old man changing CVs all the time to remain in civil service. And our leaders, you see them, when they go to the National Assembly, they are sleeping because you can't cheat nature. So let us look inward and prepare for the next generation and take leadership back to the people that it belongs. Not what the legislators are trying to do, to force people to vote election. That is not the problem of Nigeria. Let them fix our institution, fix the system, and purge themselves of corrupt practices. Nigeria holds the potential to become one of the superpowers of the world.
And you know, the issue of nepotism is not to play, because this is another country nobody's considering where she's
tribe
from.
doesn't matter. It's the content of character that counts in those clans, not religion, not tribe, not ethnicity, as we see in Nigeria. It's a great lesson.
Yes, I want to suffice to what he has just said. That's to tell you that we have a lot of the young ladies, the young lady in UK who was appointed this the mayor. The mayor, you know, we have a lot of her in the country. Some people who have lots. Nigerians are the best people, black people ever lived on earth, and we have potential to showcase. Give us a very good platform, we'll flourish. We'll show what we have as Nigerians. So, just like you said earlier before now, if it were to be in Nigeria, that lady cannot win a SUG presidential position. She can't win it, let alone, because she found herself in a very good environment where nepotism, tribalism, religious sentiments are not played. And that's the reason you saw her win that position. So I'm advising our government to take a leave from what the UK government just did and replicate it in our country, Nigeria.
Oh, thanks for your insight. But that brings us to the end of today's edition of Trends with LJE. We have discussed institutional accountability, justice reform, road safety, sports integrity, and the rising influence of Nigerian youth at home and abroad. A huge thank you to our insightful panelists, Dr. Uchihara Chris Shedrakoka. I want to say that you should stay informed, stay engaged, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles showing on your screen. I am Chidi Ilomeke. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.